Welcome to Grounds for Discussion
And Title Talk.
where we bring together closing, processing, real estate.
And coffee, of course.
Whether you're a buyer, seller, agent, or fellow industry professional, join us as we unpack the processes that make real estate deals happen. Hi, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Barbie.
And today we have the special guest, the organizer of agents, the herder of title companies, the put together of everything, making things happen, Gina Wilson.
Hi, Gina.
Hi.
Everything you just said is what I wish I could be. I am not an organized person. I am a process and a systems girl. Once I get that down, which I'm sure that is, there's no way for you to function in your world without that.
So, Gina, tell us what you do.
So my name's Gina Wilson, and I am co-owner of Next Level Agent Services. Basically, once buyer and seller go under contract, we try to keep everything on track. We handle paperwork, deadlines, communication between all parties, just to ensure nothing falls through the cracks and we can get to the closing table.
Yeah. So
100%.
all of those time frames and you handle all the admin stuff for
Yes.
agents. They hire you to work back end admin
Yes.
things for them. And it's a saving grace for a lot of us.
100%.
Yeah. Yes. So
And what's great about it is she does truly the communication. She gets us, like, the agents are out on the street.
they're doing what
They're
love.
selling,
Yeah.
they're helping people
Yeah.
buy, and then Gina comes in and gets us the contract. She's like, this is the deadline, this is this. She's checking back up on us and saying, okay, is the title commitment back? Do you have a copy of earnest money? You're doing all of that.
Keeps the back end rolling.
Yes, she does.
It keeps everything on track. So how long have you been doing it?
So 2019 is when I got my license,
Okay.
and I actually started as a showing assistant for a mega team in town. And there's a TC there that she was just dying. So when I was slow, she was just kind of throwing stuff at me. And she's like, you'd be really good at this. And I fought it for about a year.
Okay.
She eventually won. And now we own Next Level Agent Services together.
Okay. Now who's your other
Heather Watts.
Heather Watts,
And most
okay.
people, she's been doing it for like 10 years.
Okay.
Yes, and Heather's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Next Level
I get to work with her too
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, what did you bring us to drink today?
So I brought you a cold brew from Starbucks.
Okay, we are going to try it. Cheers. Cheers. It is cold coffee. It'll get the job done.
Yes.
And that's
That's the whole point.
is. Yeah.
Yep. Just need caffeine. None of the fluff.
I feel like there's a lot of caffeine in this.
Yes. Most people don't like you probably won't like the taste if you don't like coffee, but you're going to get a lot done.
Good.
So I really need to drink this.
Yes, I need to drink this
I need to
too.
buck up and drink it.
We need to get it all done.
Very interesting. So, Gina, we have all the questions for you. So, we know how you got started. What is one of the biggest hurdles in being a transaction coordinator?
One of the biggest hurdles would probably be just getting signatures sometimes for clients, for corrections or things that you guys need, like payoff statements,
Yes.
Sometimes it's really hard
Yes.
to get a hold of people.
Yes. And it's true because I know Barbie, her best thing that happens to her in the day is when she hears the fax machine and it's a payoff coming through.
It's true.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself I'm Pavlov's dog. I'm like, that's fact. But honestly, it's like when you get that, you're like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. And I know that's probably the same with signatures. You're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting for clients to sign something. And when you get it, it's like, rejoice.
Yes. And sometimes one thing will check like 10 check marks.
Yeah.
Like it's holding up a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So the hurdle is getting people to do what they're supposed to do.
Yes, but I wouldn't have a job.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, because think about it from an agent's perspective. Your job is to hold in that moment and hold space for that 10 check marks.
Yeah.
But imagine an agent who's needing to be their passion, their love is the people and showing houses and selling houses. And if they're sitting waiting for an hour or more on a signature. So I think you are, and people like you, the transaction coordinators are a saving grace for agents. I truly believe that.
100%. So walk us through like a brief synopsis of a transaction for you from like almost beginning to end. Like how does that all work with you and the agent?
Yeah, so on our website we have a submission form. They can submit it and they can attach documents, contact information, everything we would need, and then we can start processing it. And then I'll send intro emails to title, lender, clients, co-agents. I add all the calendar deadlines on their Google Calendar too.
Amazing.
Get it uploaded to their compliance department.
It's amazing.
And yeah, we kind of just go from there.
I have talked to agents who haven't used transaction coordinators yet, and I'm like, I strongly urge you to consider it. It is a game changer, and the people that are using you, they're like, it brings me life. Like,
it helps with the work-life balance.
Yes, I can pass that stuff off and still do the things that I love to do, because like, it takes special people, organizational gurus, if you will, that love that part, right? And then there's people out there that don't love that part, and it's not their gift. And so to hire someone like you and hand that stuff off is
right. No one wants to show homes until 8 p.m. and then come home and do paperwork till 2 a.m.
Exactly.
So true.
Exactly.
So true.
What's nice also is you make sure we have all the invoices. So when I send settlement statements out, tell them what you kind of do.
So like when you send it to me and I review it, I make sure there's transaction fees. Some realtors charge that. Home warranty fees, inspection invoices, just making sure all of that's on there. Checking commissions.
Yes.
Making sure those are all correct.
Because what can happen at the end is an agent has thought they have sent me an invoice and they haven't. And I send the settlement statements out, not having a transaction coordinator. I send a settlement statement out and they've forgotten about the invoice. And they were like, at the end, somebody's reaching out to get paid. And I'm like, I never got the invoice. And unfortunately, the agent a lot of times ends up eating it.
Yeah.
So
and that's, I mean, it's a small transaction fee to pay to have someone with checks and balances and making sure that when you get to the end, it doesn't cost you more money than you might have paid a transaction coordinator.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So you don't just work with certain companies like Murney, Keller Williams, Sturdy. You work with all agents, correct?
Yeah, we're independent, so we can work with any brokerage, any agent. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So we kind of help agents not to be on a team, to have the in-house admin.
How many clients do you guys work with in any given month on average?
Heather and I probably, if you include like all the team members on teams, probably like 40 plus agents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The two of you.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So on that note, what is, we always ask, like, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened, or the craziest thing that's ever happened, or the wildest thing that's ever happened? Can you think of something right off the top? Like, it's like,
there's been a lot. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot too.
Oh yeah, we have definitely. But
this just comes top of mind. But in special agreements on a contract, it was like a big negotiation, several offers, and they put for the seller or for the buyer to provide beer and pizza at closing. I feel like that's pretty crazy.
So wait, the buyer to provide the sellers? Or
yes, because the seller had several offers on the table, and that was their way of like beating everybody, and the seller chose it.
And kind of being like putting a little shtick in there of
my gosh,
hey, you sell us your house, we're going to buy you a pizza and some beer.
And they chose it.
Yeah, they chose it. The lender ended up kicking it back, obviously. We had to cross it and we had to get initials.
But it worked on the front.
But I think they ended up bringing it.
Sure
I think they kept their individual.
They removed it off the contract, but held up their end.
Amazing.
So funny.
I love that. I love that.
I do too.
Well, and what's great about I can't say how much I appreciate transaction coordinators. Like, they just make my life so much easier, because you have agents that are so busy and they aren't always in their email. They're not always looking at, because
they're not sitting in front of their computer.
They're not sitting in front of the computer. Or if I have a question or an answer and I have a lender waiting to try to get things balanced because something's trying to close the next morning, I can shoot an email to the agent and the transaction coordinator and say, hey, I need to know about such and such. And if the agent can't get with me, the transaction coordinator is getting me that answer. And that's what I greatly appreciate. So
the overall message here is, if you haven't hired a transaction coordinator yet, it's worth a shot. Throw you a contract, see how much it saves your life, and it's a minimal fee, in my opinion. Like, when you look at those fees, to give you back hours upon hours of your day.
Yes,
is
and we
massive.
don't charge for mutual releases. So
Okay.
really, I mean, it's no risk for the agent.
That's
if they do
amazing.
want to try us.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's
well,
awesome.
and I know with some companies, I know like with Murney, they're very strict on their compliances.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And making sure because I have agents come in all the time at a closing table and they're like, okay,
Tracy needs
I need you this initial, that sign, this initial, that sign, this initial, that sign, this initial.
Because Tracy told me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And I feel like you are kind of that go-between making sure.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we just want everything done. So on closing day, there's no stress besides just
And they
getting
get
your check,
paid.
getting paid.
They get
Yes,
paid. Yeah.
getting paid.
So if a newer agent wanted to, or an older agent wanted to get in contact with you, how would they do it?
My phone number, my cell phone's 417-299-0617. Call or text.
And email, go ahead and
email
give us your email.
Gina@nextlevelagentservices.com.
I have it memorized.
Yes. It's long.
Yes. No,
No, it's great.
It populates once you use it.
You guys, and there's one or two other transaction coordinators that I just truly, truly appreciate.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'll get one that I'm just like, no answers, and I was like,
That's not gonna work.
But you're one of
Yeah.
my favorites. I have a couple
Very
other
responsive.
like you and 2 or 3 other companies that
Yeah.
that do it and do a fabulous job.
Well, we know you're busy, 40 agents and 2 girls, so we really appreciate you
Yeah, thanks
spending
for
time with
having
us
me.
today.
Thank you for
Thanks
coming.
for the
Yeah.
yummy coffee. I'm
Yes.
going to get so much done.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
see you next time.
Bye.